A Short World History of Christmas by Hellbound, Alleee. So, back in 1 AD, I guess, Jesus was born, and that was on Christmas Eve, so he's born on December 24th because all the cards show it was nighttime. And the next day was Christmas Day, and Jesus had his first Christmas. He made a snowman out of the desert sands. Every year after that, Jesus had his birthday on Christmas. It was a real drag because he would always get one set of presents. And everyone got the idea that Jesus wanted frankincense and myrrh because he collected it. You know, like if someone comes to your house and sees a cow figurine on your coffee table, so all you get for the next 10 years are cows you don't even want. I know you're going to say, what about gold? Jesus wouldn't mind gold. And I have to say no, because the only people who had gold were kings. And Jesus had, like, only 3 friends with kings. And all the rest of the kings in the world wanted him dead. And maybe he and Melchior and Caspar and Balthazar had a falling out, because I never heard about him getting presents from them ever again. Maybe they were just coward kings. And after they saw him once, it was like, oh, been there, done that. Anyway, Jesus went to Egypt, and I think gold there was like growing on trees, because, you know, like at the King Tut exhibit, there's gold everywhere. And it's funny because around December, when Jesus' birthday was rolling around, they would like drag a tree into their caves or whatever, and they would hang gold ornaments on the trees, and like that happened in Babylon too. They would hang gold and silver gods on their trees. And I know this because it was in the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah, and it said that Jews couldn't do that, and this really bummed Jesus out because he was thinking it would be cool if everyone hung pictures of him on their trees that everyone put up around the solstice. But then he kind of remembered the second second commandment, which was like something his dad said he wasn't allowed to do or someone would have to kill you, which sucks. It really sucks. So then Jesus gets killed, right? But that's okay because he was supposed to die all along, and it was like all like this plan that his dad had ever since before he made everything. His dad was like, I'm so mad at what I just did, so I'm going to go down there and I'm going to get these people I made to kill me so that I don't kill them all because I'm so mad. But some of them I have to torture forever because they didn't love me and they said bad things about my ghost. So anyway, God kills himself, right? And he goes back to heaven and he sits around and that. And then people just keep celebrating the solstice like they always did. And every year it got better, you know, especially with the Greeks and the Romans, like, because they had sex and stuff. And then this Roman emperor was, like, completely mad and completely crazy. And he thought, hey, this Christian god is, like, just the same as, like, 4 of our other gods we worship. And they all have the same birthdays, you know, and that's how it got called Christmas. And then there was Germany. And they had, like, really great solstices, which were called Christmas, and sometimes Yuletide after this really horny goat sex god from Sweden. And then everyone realized that the Catholic Church was such assholes that Germany made something called Protestants, who, like, pretended that Christmas didn't even exist. And, like, it didn't for them for a long time. But the English were like, fuck you, we love Christmas, get the hell out. So, like, the Protestants went to America and had this total no Christmas land all set up for themselves. But it's funny because they kept on feasting, which is so much a no-no, because, like, Thanksgiving was like a Protestant fasting period. I know, hilarious, right? So, like, they made this no Christmas land right where there were people already living there who probably already whooped it up around solstice time themselves, but, you know, they were just savages, right? But so New England forgot that there was a place called Canada full of, like, French Catholics, and then there was a place called the Maritimes full of people who, like, cross-dressed at Christmas, and also there was something called boats, where Germans and Swedes and people who still like Christmas kept on coming to America. But, you know, if the government doesn't like Christmas, it doesn't exist, right? So, like, back in England, they had, like, Charles Dickens, who was all like, Christmas is awesome, right? And in New York, in the meantime, it's getting so big that Christmas was, like, you know, a big time for labor riots and begging parties, which sucked, but it was kind of like Halloween for grown-ups. Everyone got drunk and they made a lot of noise and broke stuff up. And that's what Christmas was. So, like, these businessmen, capitalists were like, hey, let's make it be a time for families to give gifts and stuff, and hey, Clement Seymour, write something about St. Nicholas because he's the saint of New York. We can make Christmas be about buying stuff as well as eating, and hey, throw something in about going to church too, because then the churches will like it, and the churches could never really stop people from celebrating, getting drunk, and having sex, just like they did way back in the really early old days before Jesus was born. But they got to keep the name, and that's why it's called Christmas. And that's why churches can still complain about the commercialization of Christmas while they sell all this crap and Santa kneeling in front of the manger and shit ornaments because they're like big hypocrites. And anyway, they'd be mad if we stopped commercializing Christmas. I mean, look at how they want Walmart to celebrate Christmas and not solstice or Saturnalia like Walmart really does in the first place. Right?